My brother and I were very excited when the first time that we heard Mordechai ben David. It was very exciting for us to hear a bona fide Shomer Mitzvahs from performer play music. And it was perhaps the first time that we got openly and, so to speak, officially or legally exposed to any music that was different from the music that we heard until that time. The little Jewish music that we did know was the so-called authentic klezmer music or some ghetto songs, but about 95 or more % of what we did hear was the very high-level classical music, and by this I mean things like Brahms, Haydn, Beethoven, Schubert, Schumann, and so on and so forth. According to my father, even Vivaldi and Tchaikovsky counts for garbage, not to speak about other kinds of music. So when we got this tape, I don't even remember from which relative or how we got it. That was fairly interesting for us, and we were never exposed to this kind of music. And we really got into music. I don't know if it was because of that specific tape, but I do know that the next few tapes that wound up between our fingers were a little bit different from that. They weren't exactly Mordechai ben David. Titles such as Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, Pet Metheny, Weather Report, you get the picture. The heavy rock and good jazz fusion kind of things. How they wound up in our hands, I don't remember. Probably one of our uncles who liked rock and jazz. In any event, because we grew up in such a house that did not expose us to mainstream media, we were not exposed to pop music channels or classic rock stations, what have you. We had to discover our music mostly by ourselves. That rock and jazz loving uncle unfortunately died a short period afterwards, so we couldn't rely basically on anyone to teach us or to show us, to introduce us to music, and so we had to do it ourselves. We went down to the used record store, and that's where we listened to rock, jazz, fusion, what have you. And if we liked it, we picked it up. If we didn't, we didn't know what was famous, what wasn't. And as a result, we got to know a lot of diverse kind of music. We were exposed to a lot of great musicians from different backgrounds. And we didn't grow up with all those stereotypes that, you know, if it's too poppy, it's stupid. If it's heavy metal, it's primitive and it's worthless. And, you know, we have a wide range. We can listen to Aldi Meola as well as Judas Priest. It doesn't bother us. And music is a very, very powerful tool. We understand this. Music can lift you up. It can inspire all happiness, can relax you. It can take you out of depression. We know that when Elisha Hanovi got angry and the Ruach HaKodesh was taken away from him, he needed a musician to bring him back the ability to receive Nevuah. We also know that when the Beis HaMikdash existed, when there was constantly music being played there, I imagine that they didn't play Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses there, or Def Leppard, but music was an essential part of the Beis HaMikdash. When you brought a korban, something had to somehow wake you up and bring you really close to the Rebbeinu Shalom, so that the korban should be completely meaningful. The music that we're listening to now, in our days, is, in my opinion, a little bit different than the music of the Beis HaMikdash. I cannot really vouch for it because I wasn't there. I cannot promise you that Aldi Meola did not play the Beis HaMikdash. I'm sorry about it. But I think that it's a little bit different. Today music, and this is really true to all kinds, all styles of music, from the highest level of classical music down to the worst pop, down to Madonna and Britney Spears. It's all entertainment. You understand? Entertainment. It's there to make you feel good. How should I put it? It's self-gratification. It is masturbation, so to speak. It's there just to make you feel good. And truth be told, entertainment has no place in Judaism. There is no such a notion a certain amount of value of entertainment in Judaism. In the secular Western culture, yes. Entertainment is a value, it is an important thing, it is a component of that culture, not for Judaism. Now you're going to make a distinction here. You got to understand that it is perfectly alright to unwind, to relax, to have a little fun, to ease yourself. Not a problem. You can do it. But you cannot take it as a goal, as an objective. Alright? You cannot take entertainment as a value in itself. So when you need to air out a little bit, when you need a breather, then you go and you listen to a little bit of music to relax. That's fine. But what you're going to do? You're going to listen to secular music. That's a little bit squeaky, right? At least according to the official understanding of Yiddishkeit. You're not going to learn or listen to music with cuss words, certainly. So this kind of mishmash was created, what I call a kosher chazer. On one hand it's a chazer, on the other hand it's a kosher. That's the Jewish, mainstream Jewish music, what we know today. The Mordechai ben David, so on and so forth, what have you, Avram Fried, probably there are much more things that I don't know about. So on one hand it's a little bit of Western style, low class music. On the other hand it has Kodesh lyrics to it, so maybe it makes a little bit kosher. So there you got, they have your unwinding. So what's the great problem if these concerts are banned? Is it really so offensive to you? Can't you really understand that they don't want this to degenerate slowly but surely, just as secular music did, to degenerate into the arena rock kind of culture? That's what they want to prevent here. You understand? They don't want these Avram Frieds and Mordechai ben Davids eventually to turn into ZZ Top and Def Leppard. So I think when someone compares, or when someone complains that, oh, banning Mordechai ben David is like banning the music from the Beis HaMikdash, I think that they're making a little bit of a mistake and a little bit of an overstatement, and maybe they're letting their ideology overtake their logical reasoning. I mean, I understand that you resent those rabbis, but they also have their reasons. So what I would suggest, if you like the music, go for it. I don't have no problem with it. If you want your entertainment, no problem. But on the other hand, I think that it's possible to appreciate, even if not completely agree, but to understand why such declarations are issued, and that the conservation and the preservation of our culture trumps even your reasoning. That now all of a sudden, because these concepts have been banned, all the Yidden will go off the derech. I mean, this is terrible, right? I mean, we know that the greatest of the derech movement has invariably comes after this ban, right? I mean, come on, be a little bit honest with you. Don't jump the bandwagon with every opportunity that you have to slam those whom you dislike, and try to use your reasoning. So go ahead, listen to music. I'm all for it. There you go. But before you slam someone or criticize someone or just put it down for the sake of putting it down, I would say wait a second and hold it back a little bit. Hold your fire. Try to enjoy the moment and try to understand the reasoning of people who may be a little bit wiser than you. Take care. Have a good evening.